I'm just going to give you an honest view and a response to people's comments. So I was pretty surprised because in general, like the whole he works for his dad thing is like a last resort. It's what you say when you really got nothing else to say and you're fucked. But Dana's said it after a month, and I thought we were quite pally. So I guess the gloves are off in that respect. I'm very happy for it to be Eddie v Dana. I mean, I've had so many messages this morning from around the world saying, "Oh yeah, I love that. That was great." People love that shit. You guys moan when I've become friends with Frank Warren and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, we got no beef anymore. So I guess you're going to get beef, and maybe it's good for him as well, because in boxing he's still got a lot of convincing to do of the boxing fan base. Because I think at the moment they're trying to manipulate a boxing fan base by feeding you basically a narrative that's actually completely false, which is, and I feel bad for Callum Walsh because I think he's a really nice kid and a good fighter, but for Max Kellerman to sit there and tell you that this is actually like watching Roy Jones Jr. and to tell you that Charles Martin is actually, this is what the heavyweight division really needs right now, and to say that I have no vision and you are doing shows in your garage with 120 people in a ring that looks like it was used for a club show the night before, and you're going to just create a fake belt. What's that? That's vision? Is it? That's not really vision. That's just control, because you don't want to be. Now, when he talks about part of the problem, he can't work in the problem because he's not used to that. He's not used to, people questioning whether he's the best or not, or if his show's better than that guy's shows. Because in UFC, it's just a situation where it's just them, and they're the best, and it's always the best. The big problem he's going to have, and I'm telling you now, UFC fighters are going to lose their mind when they start hearing the offers that Zuffa are making to fighters. Massively inflated purses that are 5, 10, 20 times more than UFC fighters that are selling out arenas and doing 20 times the viewership of that said fighter. So listen, everyone's got their problems, and it's not going to be easy for us. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some, but we're in it, and if this is how it's going to be, then this is the battle that we're in, and we're up for it. Shows like Saturday night are exactly what we're all about. It's actually great timing for us to do Wood Warrington and Nunes Navarrete. Two sides of the Atlantic, two sellout shows, two big audiences. So, if he wants to see a little bit of vision, he should tune in and learn a thing or two. And I've got, I don't do private tutorials, but if he needs some, I'm happy to fly to Vegas at any time for a decent fee and just explain to him how it works.
Eddie, you spoke a lot about the Zuffa, the actual standard of the show so far. When you look at Zuffa compared to Boxer on the BBC right now, what do you see as more of like a threat right now?
Zuffa or...
What's the better product, a Boxer show or a Zuffa show?
Look, Zuffa are a threat. They're extremely powerful, extremely smart, and they've got a lot of money. With all due respect to Boxer, who I think are doing really well, by the way. I mean, they're up against it. They're not a threat. They've never been a threat to me. I can't take that threat seriously. Right? We've just done a 5-year deal that gives us a minimum of 30 shows a year. We're going to do 40 shows a year. It's 200 shows globally. The only people that are going to be a threat to us are serious players. And Zuffa, despite all this banter, they're serious players. They'll take some of our fighters, we'll take some of their fighters. Dana White will come out and spin you a narrative, I'll spin you a narrative, we'll have back and forths. But the reality is without a long-term TV deal, any promoter is fucked. We've got it. So we're in a good place. They've got their TV deal with Paramount, they'll be fine. They're going to get better and they're going to get stronger. But yes, Zuffa are a threat to me. Boxer are not, but they are in the market. So I'm not just arrogant enough to say, but I watch everything and I know what I'm up against. But yes, Zuffa by far a bigger threat.
Ed, what's the latest on Conor Benn? Obviously we've got Barrios Garcia this week. Rolly Romero is an option. What is the path for Conor Benn at this moment in time?
Any smoke from him. What Conor Benn wants is the most amount of money. That's the most important thing. And if we can get a shot at the world title, it'll be fantastic. But I'm excited to see Garcia against Barrios. I've no idea what's going to happen. Obviously you've got Lewis Crocker's fighting Liam Paro. You've got Josh Kelly up at 154 as well with a world title. You've got Shakur Stevenson called out Conor Benn. So I don't think he's going to be short of options. But yeah, Saturday night will be interesting to see because obviously he's mandatory for the winner of that fight as well.
What's the situation with Giasov in that Rolly Romero?
So obviously if Conor Benn fights Rolly Romero, Giasov has to be comfortable with that decision. He has an order to fight Rolly Romero for the world title. He's our fighter as well. So it's a a situation where we could only do the fight if Gearsoft was happy with the position, and we'd have to have that conversation if we were in a position to do so.
He obviously was very adamant that Rowley wasn't stepping aside. He wasn't stepping aside for that Pacquiao fight. How confident you could maybe?
Yeah, we've spoken to his team already, and it's not something they want to do. I mean, we have exactly the same problem at the moment with Andrew Maloney and Wilbaldo Garcia. We want to make Bam's undisputed fight. We're about to move towards an announcement for Bam's next fight, and we'd like that to be against Wilbaldo Garcia. But Andrew Maloney's saying, I'm not stepping aside. And it's like, well, how much do you want? And it's like, well, no, I don't want money. I'm not stepping aside. So, you have to manoeuvre around these situations. Sometimes, if there is a lot of money in the pot, there's a solution. But we'll have to see.
Next for Bam?
Possibly. I mean, I really want Bam to become undisputed. But do we have a defence at Superfly and then wait for the winner of that fight, or do we move up to Bantam and then come back for the undisputed? Not ideal, but we'll speak to Robert Garcia and see which way we're going to have to go. That's if we can't deliver Wilbaldo Garcia, which we're still trying to do.
Ed, this morning, John Fury responded to Carl Froch, obviously the incident on Monday, and John's offered to fight him on Tyson's undercard at Tottenham Hotspur. Do you see that being how would that go?
No, I mean, listen, I can't deny I wouldn't watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's not really, I mean, how old's John Fury? 60 odd? Not the best, but listen, he's entertaining. I mean, I'm sure he's very capable of looking after himself in some surrounds. I think Carl Froch would be careful of my words with John and I. Do you know what I mean? Carl Froch would be the favourite, but yeah, I at the end of the day, anything that gets people talking and gives people an opinion, I get. It's not really the boxing world, so I'll leave that to others. But yeah. I wouldn't want to fight Carl Froch.
Eddie, Sky are obviously back in the mix now with MVP. Was it always the zone with Matchroom?
Yeah, I think we needed someone that was going to match our global ambition. So I've got over 100 fighters globally, and the most important thing for me was liquidity of shows. So when we talked and looked about other options, there was a lot of big platforms out there where we could have maybe taken a deal for 3-4 shows a year. It doesn't really suit our strategy or our ambition. So this new deal with DAZN, of course, there's also a new deal with Foxtel, a massive broadcaster in Australia. There's 7 events there a year. We have 6 in Mexico a year. We have 12 in the UK. We have 12 in the US. We have obviously the shows in the Middle East. We have Monaco. We have Turkey incoming. We have Belgium incoming. And that's really our plan. So, on reflection, and we made the move to DAZN when it was really, really hard. No one really knew about the product. No one knew about the brand. Everyone was trying to tell us that it was a joke, tell fighters it was a joke. Now we're in a position where the brand's really strong, subscriber numbers are fantastic, all fighters and promoters want to be on the platform. So now's the time to really double down on what we've built and where we are. And we're very pleased. Like I said, without a broadcast contract, you're in a really weak position. So now we can go out and talk to our fighters. Now fighters will know that everything we say, as always, we deliver them. And we've got that future set for them. They are in a solid place, locked in for their whole career, and that's really important.
Can you reveal anything on the Johnny Fisher offer? He said that he's been offered life-changing, but obviously his heart's with Matchroom.
We were offered life-changing for Johnny. So it was a fight that was coming on to the Tyson Fury card. Spencer Brown approached me, and Dr. Rakan approached me, and Johnny was at the presser for Netflix, and they said, we'd love to have you on the card. So they phoned me up. They made an offer for him to fight TKV. It was a lot of money, but Johnny kind of said to me, look, I said to him, Johnny, like, if you want this fight, and you think that, for me, the most important thing is, are you going to be 100% ready to win this fight? And basically the answer was no, right? But I can get in. I'm training. It's 6 weeks away. It's not ideal, but it's a lot of money. I said, Johnny, if your heart wants to take this fight, take it. I'll talk to, no problem. Don't worry about me. If this is the right thing for you, do it. He says, well, look, I'd rather, me and you have got a plan and DAZN. I said, then do that. But if you've got any doubt in your head about this fight, don't sell yourself out for a couple of $100,000 extra in a fight that you're not ready for. Because if you lose to TKV, the plan that we have together is really not in full flow. So it wasn't really I saw his interview. It wasn't really leaving Matchroom thing, it was fine. He was fine to do that, and I would have told him to do it. But the moment he says, "I just don't know whether I'll be quite ready," that for me is the moment you just don't do it. You know, if he would have turned around to me and said, "I'm sorry, I don't want to take this money," I'll go for it, mate. No problem. But I believe Johnny's going to improve a lot. I believe working with Tony Sims, he's actually going to get better and better. So you have to give yourself every chance in life to be the best you can be. So you have to play the long game a little bit. Now, if you just want to cash out and get the money, I'll never blame you for that. If we all talk and have that conversation. But Johnny Fisher's a young man with ability and potential, and I think he's made the right decision.